Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here today at Seminole County's premier museum of history. We want to take a moment and thank all the citizens that have showed up today's presentation as we unveil the newest map, the 1857 map, 1875, I'm sorry. Also, we're going to be unveiling the 250-year birthday logo for Seminole County. There's also, want to thank all the elected officials that are with us today. It's very important. You know, history is not always something that everybody thinks about, but history is important. In order to know where we're headed in the future, we have to understand what our history was. And I would tell you and invite all those citizens out there that haven't had the opportunity to visit the museum here in Seminole County, you should do so. There's a great deal of volunteers that have put things together to help preserve the history of Seminole County, and you would be surprised how much true history and where Seminole County originated from, how it came to be, when it originally started with West Florida and East Florida, and how we've come to be where we're at today, with what I will argue as the chairman of this county as one of the best places for quality of life within the state of Florida, best schools, best government, best quality of life, bar none. So again, thank you all for being here. I want to take a special thank you to the folks here at the museum who have done wonders in the last 7 of 8 years, getting things put together. I'm going to introduce the curator, Mr. Bennett. Please come up and have a few words with folks. We appreciate all the hard work and dedication you put.
So, thank you, Chair Zembauer. Thanks again to everyone for being here. We're really excited about this project. Just to give you an idea, the museum is always trying to look forward. We actually plan most of our exhibits 2 years in advance. So this has been in the pipeline for us for a while. We knew we wanted to do something on colonial Florida, and just to show how it actually touched Central Florida in ways that people don't quite understand. Everyone looks at St. Augustine and Pensacola, but they were coming down here as early as the 18th century, and this map from 1765 is a wonderful example of the interest that British explorers and surveyors had in our area, the land grants that were already established, and there are wonderful notations on here about their encounters with the local native groups, the Seminoles, and we are so excited to add this to our collections. And after this, I invite you to come see our exhibit, Fighting Florida, which is on the colonial era in Central Florida, the Spanish and British periods. And we will be taking those items, a lot of that stuff that we've put together for this temporary exhibit, and making it a permanent addition to this wall behind me, which is going to be this map's permanent home. A brief word on the surveyor, William Gerard de Brom. He himself has a colorful history of running around the state, having 2 wives, and it's a wonderful research project for anyone who wants to look into Florida's more salacious origin stories. But the map that he did, it shows definitively Lake Harney that we know is in Seminole County. It is the first depiction of Seminole County on a map that we are aware of. And the funny thing is, he stuck mostly to the coast. He surveyed all around Lake Harney, but he didn't realize it connected to the St. Johns River. So that's reflected in the map, the inaccuracies of that survey as well. And he couldn't go into more detail because, as a note mentions, in March of 1765, he was turned around by Cowkeeper, the Seminole chieftain, who encountered him and didn't want British surveyors finding his cattle herds. So it's fascinating to research, and we are so glad that it is now part of our collections. A big thank you to the Seminole County Historical Society for sponsoring the printing and framing of this map. And yes, without further ado, I think it's about time to unveil it. So this is East Florida. It depicts Mosquito Inlet all the way down to Jupiter Inlet. And even though it's very tiny on the map itself, we've blown it up for you. That is Lake Harney on the right-hand side with the respective land grantees there. This is a wonderful and essential part of Central Florida's history, some of the earliest European-led expeditions into what is now Seminole County. So I encourage you all to take a closer look when we're done here, speechifying, and Yes, and be sure and check out our exhibit, Fighting Florida, Legacies of the Colonial Era in Central Florida. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce Dr. Deborah Bauer, who is in charge of the 250th subcommittee that's been put together to try and plan for the 250-year anniversary of the United States and our celebration here in Florida and connecting it to this Florida history. Dr. Bauer?
Good afternoon. My name is Deborah Bauer, and I wear several different hats, but today I'm speaking to you as both the Executive Director of the Seminole Cultural Arts Council, as the Seminole County Historical Commissioner appointed from District 2, and also just as what I consider to be one of my most important titles, just your average humble historian of Florida history. And this map is something really, really special for a couple of different reasons, as both the chairman and Mr. Lloyd have said, in the fact that when you think of Seminole County, people often know us very well known because of our roots to the 19th century Seminole Wars, particularly the founding of Fort Mellon and what later became the city of Sanford. And they didn't know that our roots actually went back to the days of St. Augustine. And one of the things that is often, you're going to hear a lot in the coming year, you're going to hear about the 13 colonies that joined together during the American Revolution of 1776 through 1783, because the United States will be celebrating its 250th anniversary of its birth and founding next year. And they often forget that Florida, there were actually, believe it or not just 13 colonies, there were 14 and 15 colonies, because East Florida and West Florida, we are standing in 1776, what would have been known as East Florida. And our roots, as this map and some of the other proof in the exhibit that Mr. Lloyd and the volunteers at the museum worked tirelessly to design over the last 6 months have shown, is that history, sometimes we get a bad name. People think that it's just names and dates, that once it's been discovered, the narrative doesn't change. And I think one of the things I'm most excited about, because I was actually the individual who rediscovered this map in an archive in Great Britain, in the city of London in 2012, it actually comes from a hand-drawn 24-foot map that shows what Great Britain, the gentleman, Mr. DeBrom, who Mr. Lloyd mentioned, he was 47 years old when he came. He was named as a royal surveyor. He had been living by way of Georgia. He was from Germany. He was recently widowed with 2 children, and he came here to start a new life. And his story included this wonderful map that you see behind us. And I think that that's what I always tell my students, and what I would want our community to know, that this map is now a part of your story. If you live here in Seminole County, if you even just visit or work in Seminole County, our history is our stories. It's where we've been, what we're doing, and so that we must remember these so that we don't forget the lessons of the past, so that we may make new mistakes in the future, but hopefully we won't make the same ones that have been made before. So with that in mind, I was very pleased 2 months ago, the Seminole County Historic Commission, which is responsible for advising Seminole County government and the Seminole County Commission on matters of historical significance, I was pleased to be named by that board, which is chaired by Mrs. Donna Bundy and vice chaired by Mrs. Catherine Townsend, to represent them in what we've shorthand the Seminole 250 Planning Committee. And this is what is the group that is responsible for coming up with ideas on how Seminole County over the next year plus should be getting ready to celebrate what really is something to be proud of. Because the one thing that I think we all can agree on, aside from the fact that we are united as a community and these are our stories, that the freedoms of the Founding Fathers, the ideas of liberty, of equality, of natural rights are important to us all today, perhaps even more so than they were when this map was drawn in the 1760s. And so as we go forward, we look forward to, and I very much encourage you, that the committee will be meeting to take public input over the next month and a half to 2 months as we get ready to finalize our plans. Come out, look, participate, do your duty as a citizen, make your voice heard, but most importantly, tell us how you want your story to be told and commemorated, because that's why we're all here. And if we remember that we're all equal as a community, that's how we can make Seminole County continue to be the best county and best place to live for everyone. So without further ado, I'm very happy to show you that this logo that we're about to unveil, our America Seminole County Celebrates 250 Years, was designed by Seminole County leadership. You're going to be seeing it a lot over the next 7 to 12 months. And something that's pretty unique about the Seminole 250 subcommittee is that it's been quite some time since we've had representatives from Seminole County, the 7 municipalities, Seminole State College, Orlando Sanford International Airport, and the Seminole County Public School District, all working together. That's why there are so many wonderful elected officials and community partners here, both public and private, and volunteers who have come together because we are all vested in this interest. And so you're going to be seeing great things, not just this wonderful logo. I encourage you continue to come out, support, pay attention, and take pride in our nation's celebrations because it's going to be a great year in 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, Lloyd, and thank you, Dr. Bauer, very much. And I would just say this is another example of showing how the Seminole County Commission is committed to preserving the history of Seminole County. And it speaks volumes to have our school board members here, other elected officials, mayors, and so forth from the 7 cities. We appreciate and thank each and every one of you for your support, the collaboration, again, which makes Seminole County such a great place to live, work, and play. Thank you very much and enjoy your day.